Welcome to the Big Cat Lounge podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm KZ and I'm here with Big Cat Chad. Today's guest comes from Asheville, North Carolina. He's a soul-based singer and hip-hop artist representing the Asheville GOAT Series. He's deeply introspective and focused on personal growth while looking outward. The lyrics are relatable and inspiring. Join him on the path of self-discovery and pursuit of purposeful living. He recently dropped an album called No Buts, Just Do. We welcome ResoNate to the Big Cat Lounge podcast.
What up, ResoNate?
What's up, Big Cat Chad? And Kyle.
Welcome to the Big Cat Lounge. Dude, you don't know Nilesh, do you?
I don't really.
Okay. He's also from Asheville, so that would have just been hilarious.
Are they an artist as well?
No, he was actually he's really the origin of the whole term Big Cat. He was like the first episode that we posted.
Oh, I didn't realize he was from Asheville. Nice.
Yeah, he's originally from Asheville. But, yeah, he's the whole reason the whole Big Cat term came around, because we were basically just pick on him a lot because he would just run around randomly calling people Big Cats, referring to them as Big Cat. So then it just went into a whole joke, and we've just done it ever since. It's been really funny.
I like
he's
it.
Actually the reason. So that's why we were wondering if you knew him, because then it would have been super hilarious.
Yeah, I heard that first episode. I did go back and listen to that, but I've never met them before.
Yeah, absolutely. So you originally from Asheville?
From Charlotte, actually.
Oh, yeah, I went to UNC Charlotte, 49ers.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, my mom teaches there, actually.
Oh, for real? What field?
She teaches architecture.
Oh, yeah. I knew all them architecture guys and girls would always be in the lab, or they'd always be in the studio all the time.
Yeah. And
they
she's with the fifth year students too, so I think they're in the studio, in the lab even more so than some of the younger students.
Isn't Charlotte aren't they very well known for architecture? Isn't it like one of the top schools?
Yeah, so in terms of a full-on architecture program, I believe that there's UNCC and NC State are pretty much the main prominent ones.
So how long did you live in Charlotte?
Until I went off to college at App State. So I was in Charlotte until I was 18. My parents are still in Charlotte in Plaza Midwood area.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yep, I stayed there for a few years and then moved back to Raleigh. I remember sitting in some of the traffic on was it 79? What's the 77? Man, I remember trying to go 4 or 5 exits on 77 for an interview, and it took like almost an hour. I was like, man, I'm not doing this.
It's a different breed of traffic over there. Asheville's a little bit calmer, even though since we're smaller and the roads they've got an interesting design undoubtedly. So in Asheville it can get really busy, especially when the tourism is at its peak. But nothing's like Charlotte, really. I don't think anywhere else in NC.
Plus, people are pretty aggressive drivers in Charlotte, man.
Dude, I noticed.
For your average grandma out there in Charlotte.
It's rare for you to be from Charlotte. Most people are implants, right? They're all coming from elsewhere, right? They're coming here because there's opportunities. So they're not from here. It's rare, I guess, that ResoNate's from here, but it's like it's rare, I think. Right?
Well, plus all those finance majors. Well, there's not a whole lot of good probably finance schools in North Carolina, so I think naturally, probably a lot of them come to the banking capital down there in Charlotte.
True. Isn't Charlotte also one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a stat like that, but it would not surprise me.
I think it's top 10.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. I mean, I love Charlotte. I was there when they were just – this will be a testament to how old I am. I was there when they were just putting up 485. Seriously. Dude, they hadn't even finished it yet, like when I was going there, if that tells you anything.
And 85 is crazy busy now.
I heard there's a light rail. Yeah, because Charlotte back then, the rush hour would be like 1:30 to 2:30 to like 9 at night. Here in Raleigh, it's like 3:30 to 5:30. you know, I used to do the whole 16 mile back and forth that took an hour each way, and now I'm 0.9 miles from my job.
Yeah, it's nice being close. I was working at Grand Bohemian for a little bit, and it's less than half a mile from me. I was able to ride my bike there for a little bit.
So tell us a little bit about your album and your production background.
So No Buts Just Do was, I would say, the project that kind of put me on the radar for fellow artists around NC. I released that last year on April 20th, so it'd be a memorable
Nice.
date.
Very nice.
And it got definitely a lot more attention than anything else I had ever released, and that was when I first started putting it on all platforms as opposed to just on SoundCloud. And I got connected.
So that was what made the difference?
That made somewhat of a difference, but what mainly made a difference was that I did a music video with a gentleman out of Charlotte, Amir, and he did a fantastic job on that, but he connected me to this guy, Kevin McCloskey, who goes by Black Pearl.
Nice.
And that's now my primary engineer that I go to.
Okay.
And he actually did DaBaby's projects, that both of the ones before this most recent one. He was working with DaBaby. He does Lute, who's on Dreamville. He does Lute's music, does Eric Lottery's music, Elevator J. Sweet. He's unbelievable, though. He's just absurdly talented, and he took my stuff to a new level of quality, undoubtedly.
So what are you working on now?
So much, man.
Nice. Very nice.
So much. It's crazy. The break that I got when I got laid off at Grand Bohemian, it was only a 2-week break before I got a position with a construction company out in Old Fort. But
nice.
that 2-week period kind of it got me back on my hustle, because I had so much free time, and I had not been creating a lot for maybe 4 or 5 months. I stopped drinking like half a year ago. It's
nice.
Yeah, it's been over 6 months now, as of like a week ago, and it was kind of difficult for me to create for a little bit after that. I
was wondering. That's what I was gonna ask.
It was tough, man. I was not sleeping super well, and it took a little bit of energy out of me. But now the energy is back, and even more so than before, and I feel fantastic.
Nice.
So.
Sometimes you gotta kind of hit the bottom of energy to pop back up. It's kind of like hitting rock bottom in life, sort of. Not really, but hitting rock bottom artistically.
And they're interconnected for me. It's where I find my most purpose is when I'm making music, and it's how I work through my problems. And so when I'm not creating is definitely that's correlating with when I'm at rock bottom in life as well. And that's how it felt. It doesn't feel good when you're not doing what you love the most, and you can't feel like you have the energy to do that as well. So
what's the message here, or the inspiration for the one that was so successful recently?
I think that I think Kyle explained it pretty well. He kind of gave a little summary about what I like to speak on, and it's about following your dreams, not giving up, and just doing things without a second thought. Not making excuses for following what it is you want to do, because there's always going to be an excuse to not move forward and not make changes that you need to. And the project was, part of what made it so good was I was going through a very emotional time. The first song that I wrote for that was called Resilience, and during that week, I can't remember all that happened to me. I got fired for the first time, and I lost a good friend of mine. Not like they passed away, but we just had a falling out, and him and I are really close again now. But so yeah, those two things happened in 1 week, and I might have gotten even broken up with as well. It was a lot of stuff happening at once, and I was like, all right, this is what
sounds
we're
like
doing.
Sounds like you should have been a country music singer. You went into the wrong genre.
Yeah, man, I need to write about my sorrows and try a new approach. I've been able to, spend some time outside, and I guess people are laxing a little bit on coronavirus, although we still need to obviously be careful. But the tourism's definitely back full swing going on right now.
Oh yeah. It's at max, I guess.
Yeah, man. People are ready. They're ready to get back out and Wicked Weed. I went there the other day to get a bite with a friend, and it was pretty packed. So people are back. Yeah,
I guess everyone wants to still escape, go out on vacation, and typically the mountains is a good getaway, right? So people just want to go regardless. They've been stuck indoors, I guess, 4 months, 5 months now.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. I'm ready for a vacation. I'm actually heading to the beach tomorrow, going to Folly with a friend of mine. Gonna chill in Charleston for a little bit.
Okay, good, awesome. Yeah, I mean, while you get the opportunity, as long as you're able to social distance, why not make the opportunity while you can?
That's how I like to live anyways. I'll be staying on my own. I'm going to be over there, writing some music and hanging out, find a little loner spot on the beach.
Exactly. It'll be a different environment, right? I mean, you find that every time you switch and you go on trips, do you find you just able to gather your thoughts in a different manner, and I guess reflect differently? You find that's where you get most of your music, or it just depends?
I write most of my music at home. However, actually, by home, I mean Asheville. A lot of my music, I have a spot on the Parkway that I go to. I set up my hammock, and
oh, sweet.
And it's nice and peaceful, and got the fresh air. It's next to some water, so there's some kind of relaxing sounds in the background, and so I've got kind of a go-to spot that I like to write at. However, I love to create whenever I'm in different places. My family's traveled a lot, and I was doing a thing called a Travelers Series beat tape thing when I was producing a lot more. So one time it was in Thailand, and I was producing beats on the plane on the way and while we were staying there. And I actually was recreating one of the beats this morning from that tape, which was about 3 or 4 years ago. I lost it when my computer crashed, so having a little fun trying to remake that.
You don't really sell it, no one buying it. Buying to yourself the plus and minuses, the ups and downs of it, no fake and counterfeit. Breaking down of it, the losses and the wins. You don't really sell it, no one buying it. Buying to yourself the plus and minuses, the ups and downs of it, no fake and counterfeit. Breaking down of it, the losses and the wins. Tomorrow never comes. Then today is the one where we get shit done. I'ma build me up and build you too till eruption come and to blow up soon. Hot air balloon and fire consuming. I hear the boo and I hear the cheer and I appreciate you. Yeah, you waving arms in the sky, flight to my proof. I let my eyes to the color complementary to green, complementary of green. Stay strong when you're weak, will we? Stand up for the weak, will we? We will. I'll try, need to get outside. Sunlight, feeling about right. Southside villain can't be the villain. I wanna beat the villain, I wanna see my vision coming to fruition. Gotta use the gift that we've been given. If the indecision can't be contradicted, it ain't for the business, it ain't for the riches. This is for all, it ain't for the fishes. Never call them bitches, it's optimistic, I'm pessimistic. Some of the victims caught in the system, when no one listens and say they at fault. Yo, stand up when you get the call. Ooh, we can all fight for a cause. Ooh, at least try to right our wrongs. Yeah, right now I'm just focused on, well I forgot. Ooh, I'm just focused on, well I forgot. Yeah, I'm just focused on, well I forgot. Ooh, I'm just focused on, well I forgot. Damn. You don't really sell it, no one buying it. Buying to yourself, plus and minuses, the ups and downs of it, no fake and counterfeit. The breaking down of it, the losses and the wins. You don't really sell it, no one buying it. Buying to yourself, the plus and minuses, the ups and downs of it, no fake and counterfeit. The breaking down of it, the losses and the wins. Today is a good day when you breathe and living, got a place to stay, got a meal to eat, something everybody needs. Shoes on my feet, loving family. Giving that, don't I have everything that I need? No need to feel lonely, no need to feel so weak. Be thankful for this feast. But today is a good day when you breathe and living, got a place to stay, got a meal to eat, something everybody needs. Shoes on my feet, loving family. Giving that, don't I have everything that I need? No need to feel lonely, no need to feel so weak. Be thankful for this feast. But today is a good day when you breathe and living, got a place to stay, got a meal to eat, something everybody needs. Shoes on my feet, loving family. Giving that, don't I have everything that I need? No need to feel lonely, no need to feel so weak. Be thankful for this feast.
Part of the Asheville Reps, right? You have a platform here dedicated to promoting, entrepreneurs of Asheville and the greater North Carolina area. So you've been doing that for some time now too, right? How's it been to launch this?
So with that, I've definitely kind of been holding off on that for now. I got it started about 7 or 8 months ago, and it was at a time when I was definitely at my peak of inspiration. I was just in a very, very motivated place, and I was creating a ton at the time, and I got a call from a record label that's really big, and I kind of screwed up and messed up and didn't call him back the next day.
Dang.
But yeah, my grandma was in town. No excuses, no buts, just do. But I think to an extent, when you're an introspective person that's also introverted, it is intimidating to be pursued by a label that would put you kind of like immediately on the scene in front of a lot of eyes. And my dream has always been being heard more than being seen.
Now you can start doing audio tweets, because now Twitter just released audio tweets. So now you can say your tweet instead of typing it.
I actually do not have a Twitter, and that may be the next platform I need to get, because I know that the more platforms you're on, definitely the more reach you can get. It's tough enough for me to stay just on one, and I stick to Instagram essentially. I love Instagram, and that's where I'm connected to the most other artists around North Carolina. I've worked hard to kind of scope out the talent. And that's what AvlReps was initially about. It was actually, my plan was to kind of get my primary following of my main account to move over there and eventually get a big enough following behind that and turn it into a small label was my plan at the time.
Nice.
And I had a friend of mine who's definitely one of my biggest supporters, and he's my go-to for whenever I have new work that I want help organizing and stuff like that. He was the one I wanted to start the label with, and it was as I was starting AvlReps, and I had a lot of ideas that were kind of separate from the label, and his impression was basically that I was putting my energy in too many places, and that I wasn't like super serious about the label because I had so many other ideas I wanted to do.
You were a master of none, a man of many and a master of none.
Exactly. That, you can't stretch yourself too thin. You really gotta put your energy into one thing at a time sometimes. And
yeah, you could always revisit it, down the road.
Exactly.
Like, when it's at a good point for you. It's just really like in terms of planning, right? It's one of those things to bring everyone together. It requires a lot of time and a lot of effort, but yeah, it'd have to be the right time for you, really.
Exactly. Yeah. So my approach is, when it comes to music, I go back and forth between, I'll have stretches where I'm writing a lot, and then I'll have stretches where I'm producing a lot usually. And right now I'm actually going through a time where at least I've been producing a little bit more. I haven't been doing that in a solid probably half a year to a year. I haven't really been making beats. I've been focusing just on writing, but past week I've been getting back into that, and for the first time I'm actually writing on my own beats. I got a little EP that I'm working on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I have 5 projects in the works right now. To answer your question from earlier about how much I'm working on and what I got going on. Yeah. And one of them is completely finished recording, and it just has to be mixed. Actually, 2 of them are getting mixed. One of them by my engineer that I mentioned earlier, Black Pearl in Charlotte, which I'm hoping to get that back before the end of this month and then release it within possibly a month, depending on when I get it back. Huh. And then another project that it came together in like 2 weeks, and it's 7 songs, and it got recorded, written, and everything in like 2 weeks with this guy he lived in Charlotte for a little bit. He lives in Concord now. He had a project. Do y'all know Sky Blue out of Raleigh?
Yeah.
Today's sponsor is Anchor FM app. Go download the free Anchor app today to get started. You can find it at your Play Store or App Store. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it distributes everything for you so it can be heard on multiple platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and many more. This is what I'm currently using right now to edit and record my podcast, and you can do so from your phone or computer. And the tools are really easy to use to help document the Big Cat Lounge journey. So what are you waiting for? Go today and download it. No, I haven't heard of him, no.
What is Sky Blue?
He's a hip-hop artist. He probably has the biggest following out of anyone that I'm currently working with. He has like close to 8,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Wow.
Nice.
So he has a decent following. He definitely has a very loyal backing behind him. And he actually reached out to me for one of my first collaborations ever. I was surprised to hear from him. He asked me to be on a song with him. It was on his tape with Scotty Royal. And that producer ultimately reached out to me after that and said that he wanted to work on something in the future. And then half a year passed by, and then we finally got to it, and it came together really fast.
Awesome, man. Well, it looks like you're on a come up really quick.
I'm excited to start releasing stuff this year. I think that there's going to be some pretty quick growth.
Yeah, exactly. Just being able to have the content and then being able to determine when you want to release it. That's a beauty right there. Just being able to gather your inventory, and then it's on your own time to release. But the fans and everyone's, they're waiting.
Dude, I'm so ready. I'll tell you what, I'm waiting too, man. I am waiting because I sent the stems off to the gentleman in Charlotte a while ago. Have y'all ever heard of the hip-hop artist Buddy?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he's got like millions of monthly listeners. So my engineer was doing a project for him recently, and I know he was really tied up with that. It was called, I can't remember. It was a collaborative album between Buddy and one other guy. It's really good though, and it's under Sony is the record label that he's working with for it. And apparently, when you work with labels, you kind of got to make a lot of adjustments, and they reach back out wanting different versions and just a lot of kind of particular things that they need from you. So I know he's been wrapped up with that a little bit. I've spoken with him over the past couple of weeks, and I sent him those stems about 3 months ago. So I'm ready. I'm ready for that one to come back. I've definitely been excited. It's one of the projects actually that I lost. I had a computer crash during that time where I was having a difficult time creating.
Yeah.
Part of what sparked that was my computer that I was using at the time died, and I lost 2 full projects that were recorded.
Jeez.
So over 100 hours of recording and kind of at least just organizing and mixing to the extent that I do put in there. So it was devastating, man. I was having a tough time deciding if I'd planned to recreate the projects, but it was definitely tough to remotivate myself. I was just kind of waiting around hoping that the computer would get fixed. I was taking it to different people, and It hurt.
Dang, man. That really sucks, man.
It's terrible. It teaches you to back things up, though. I'm sure y'all know all about that.
Come on, Dropbox. Where you at, Dropbox?
I know.
Oh, Google Drive over here.
Yeah, seriously, though. Yeah. No, you just have to back things up. I have an external hard drive now, which Google Drive probably is safer bet even because it can't break on you. It can't fall and then you lose it that way. But I do back up all my things on the external hard drive now because, that was a very testing and trying time. And I will say once I started re-recording, though, it did give me a different kind of perspective on it, and it got me even more inspired than before because I told myself, this is a test. There's tests that get thrown at you every day in life, and that was one of the toughest I've ever faced, was kind of losing projects that were really important to me. One of them especially, one of the projects that is done on my end right now, I'm actually waiting on one more artist to get back to me on one of their verses. It's kind of the inverse of No Buts Just Do, in that album was completely produced by Yondo, and this album is also completely produced by Yondo. That one had no features. This one has a feature on every song.
Oh, wow.
And the features are unbelievable. It's got Mike Live from Free the Optimists, who he was in a hip hop group in Asheville that won hip hop artist of the year through the Carolina Music Awards a couple years back, and I've been inspired by him for a while. It was cool to get to work with him. It's got Peter the Poet, who's one of my favorite artists out of Asheville. It's got Sky Blue on it. I just got his verse back recently. It's got this guy Slade the Supreme, who I just connected with recently, and that dude, he has probably some of the most potential of anyone that I worked with. He's not like a huge artist right now. He has a big following on Instagram, over 5,000.
Say it one more time.
Slade the Supreme.
Slade the Supreme. Okay.
And oh man, he has his project that he released last year. I'm going to look this up real quick. Okay, A Quest Called Life.
A Quest Called Life.
By Slade the Supreme. Dude sounds like Mick Jenkins, if y'all know him. His voice sounds just like Mick Jenkins, legit. And his lyrics are really potent, and it's very professionally mixed. And he got me his verse back like really soon after I reached out to him. This project started about 9 months ago, and I reached out to the original group of 8 that I wanted on it, and 4 of them got back to me really quick, and then the other 4 I had been waiting until like a month ago. I finally reached back out, and 2 of them were still on board, and then the other 2 asked for money for their verses.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to do that with this project. I'm already going to be putting in over $1,000 into getting it mixed and into beat rights, and I want to put in a couple $100 into promotion. Mm-hmm. And I just feel weird about paying people to be on my stuff because I want them to just want to work.
What are you going to get for the $300 of promotion value?
Well, the thing that's cool, so I actually just paid for promotion for the first time on my music like a week ago through an app called I guess it's called Fiverr.
Oh yeah.
Oh yep.
Yeah, so I paid for a Spotify promotion, one that supposedly I talked to a friend about it, and he said that it's not really like a bots type promotion service. It's like they get actual listeners, people that are actually saving your music, and it's worked really well so far. It's gotten me
nice.
On one of my songs that's going to be on this project with the 8 collaborators. The first song is Back Home, and it features Matrix P out of Belmont, so right outside Charlotte.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that song now is up to 1,500 streams. It was at 375 or so before I got the promotion.
Huh.
So it's gone up quite a lot in a week, and
and that costs how much?
It was $65 for promotion on 2 songs.
Okay.
And they put it on some playlists, and so it got saved a decent amount, which is one thing that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
What was your save rate?
It was 100. I think 190 people have saved it to like, I guess it was 1,200 or like 1,100 plays that I've gotten in a week. So
so like 30%.
Pretty freaking good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Congrats.
Yeah, I was definitely happy with that, and they said that it typically continues after the promotion is ended too, which I've already seen that today. Spotify for Artists has a new feature on it as of the last at least month or so, where it used to be once you release something, you had 1 week of it telling you live stats. It would like show you how many are listening at one time. Now the app at all times, you can see how many people are listening. Yeah. The promotion ended yesterday, and I've still had like today. At one point today, I had 11 people listening at one time.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So modest numbers for now.
What a simultaneous stream of 11? Is that what you meant?
Yeah,
Nice.
11 listening at one time, and throughout most of the day, there's been at least like 2 or 3 people listening, which it's modest. That's modest numbers, but
when people are, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it used to be
like big percentage increase if you look at the percentages.
It is. I kind of hovered. So when I first released No Bus Just Do, somehow I ended up getting placed on a playlist for Austin City Limits, and they had a ResoNate on the bill, and I didn't know if it was just there was another ResoNate or if they were maybe testing the waters to see if they would maybe want to bring me out, or I don't know what it was. But I was on that playlist for a while, and it kept me around 300 monthly listeners. And then once I got taken off of that playlist, or I guess the playlist might have got taken down because it's outdated now. But I kind of hovered around like 30 something monthly listeners for a while. But now I'm back up to close to 500.
Wow. And that's just for doing the Spotify boost or sponsored ad, or
it went up. I was at I think 45. I released a couple singles recently, so that bumped me up a little bit on the listeners, but yeah, it boosted me up quite a bit.
So what's your time frame looking for your next releases?
So the one that is currently with my engineer, it was supposed to be at the end of this month. That's going to change. That's definitely going to change now because I haven't gotten it back from them yet. They told me a couple weeks ago when we were speaking that they could get it done by the end of this month. However, they actually just moved studio locations, and they did that within the past week, and they're having to do renovations on the building. And as soon as I saw that happening, I was definitely excited. I was excited for them, as well as just kind of thinking in my head, I was just like, shoot, I'm probably not going to get my project whenever they originally anticipated. Crap.
But that's why you got to have 4 others, right, at the same time, ready to go.
Yeah, you're right. And I have another engineer that I work with out of Raleigh, and his name is Brian Kidd. He's also really talented. He's one of the best, I would say, in North Carolina. I do like I like what Black Pearl does in terms of just crispness. And what I like about Brian is he just has a totally different style. They each have such a different approach. His is like very heavily reverbed, and he does it. They're just different styles. I think my voice is a lot cleaner, and the singing definitely has a little more punch with Black Pearl, and then it has a little bit more resonance with Brian Kidd.
Nice.
It's interesting getting a couple of different types of sounds though, and there's been some songs that I've had Brian Kidd do, and I just got him to start working with me for the past maybe month and a half. I will say his turnaround time is fantastic. He gets stuff back to me in 2 weeks. I send him a couple of songs, it's right back in my inbox, so that's exciting. And there's a couple songs definitely that I think his mixing style matched them very well. So I'm excited to be working with both of them.
So what about on the live scene or events? Are you trying to do anything? Or are you more the introvert artist that just likes to get in the studio and zone out?
I enjoy the studio time a lot more than I do performing. However, and I have not performed a lot. I haven't tried to perform a lot, but there was a performance last August that my friend Musashi Zero, another artist out of Asheville who's really talented, he got me on the bill with him and Peter the Poet, who I let y'all know is on that project of mine, and Lingua Franca, who she's a political figure. I can't remember what she's like, maybe commissioner of something in Athens, Georgia, and she is badass.
Nice.
She is so awesome. Her stage performance, her presence was one of the best I've ever seen from anyone. And this show, yeah, it was unbelievable. Like I don't know anyone else that can bring her energy. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else bring her energy to a performance out of lots and lots of shows I've been to. So it was amazing to be a part of that show. There was over 100 people in the crowd when I was on, and I was the opener for that show.
Nice.
So that was a big deal for me. I hadn't performed in 2 years at that point. And part of what sparked that, even since like a high school student, I hated public speaking and stuff like that. But
who didn't?
Yeah, true, man.
I was okay if I actually knew what I was talking about.
That's the thing, man. That's seriously the thing, is you really got to study up. When you study up and you know what you're talking about, or you just really care about what you're talking about, the fear goes away. But
they want me to do like a book report on Wuthering Heights to the class or something. Like, I'm gonna struggle on that. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you just have to be prepared, and that's something I didn't realize in high school. So I mean, I remember a specific public speaking moment in my English class, which was the guy that taught that was actually my soccer coach as well in high school. But it was a 10-minute long presentation, and as soon as we were told about it, it was like 3 months out. But I would stress about it like every day. I would think about it legitimately every day. So it was something that for a long time was a fear of mine. And then the last performance that I had, and I wouldn't even really call it a full performance. I wasn't like on a bill or anything, but there was this place, Static Age Records, and some of my friends were performing there. And at the end of it, they had the DJ just playing some beats, and I had just written something like, I don't know, the day before or maybe even that day. I was really freaking hyped up on it. So I was like, you know what? I could hit this right now. I went up there, and first part where I went wrong is if you have to read something off of your phone and you're rapping it, it's just not right. Like,
and then your phone turns off, like,
yes,
the screen times out,
dude,
and you're like unlocking it, and
that's what happened, dude.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Then you shut the browser down by it, so then you go search for it.
Dude, it died. It died.
Oh, it died even worse.
It didn't even just close. It died in the middle of the verse, in front of like 7 or 8 of my favorite artists in North Carolina. I was just like, no, please, don't do this to me. It was a very uncomfortable moment. And then that was another teaching moment I learned, was that when you have a screw up on stage, there's two different approaches. There's two different approaches you take, and it's you freak out and everyone feels it, and there's an energy that just kind of shoots throughout the room, and people look at this guy and they're like, wow, he is losing it right now, and I feel uncomfortable. I don't even want to look at him. Or you play off it and just, and you just have fun, and you realize
that's what I always do.
This is fine, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah,
absolutely. You can't sit there and be embarrassed, man.
Yeah, no joke.
This ain't high school anymore.
Yeah, people feel it. People feel it. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, people are not going to remember like one time you screwed up. And in fact, I've spoken to people that were there for that screw up that messed with my mentality for literally years. I talked to them and they were like, "Oh, dude, I thought you killed it." I was like, dang it. Come on.
I know, right?
Like, so we view it very differently ourselves, than how others might perceive it. But at the same time, I still remember one of the people from that presentation in my English class who was up there having a voice crack every 5 seconds.
Oh man!
I remember it to this day.
The guys' voices were changing. That's got to be an uncomfortable time for public
It is,
speaking.
dude. It really is. And I mean, it was bad, and it's kind of hilarious now. I haven't thought about that in so many years, but it's like, you know what? Sometimes people do remember, but it's the approach that you go at it afterwards that.
There's always those moments of high school or middle school that right now you could remember where even if it wasn't embarrassing for you, it was embarrassing for somebody else. Like those things that happen at school to people. And like, it's funny how if a fight breaks out, everybody forms a circle and crowds around really quick.
Yeah, everyone's interested to see what's next, what's going on, who did what.
This is before smartphones and social media. Could you imagine getting your ass kicked on social media? And then or somebody pranks you or something, and then all of a sudden you can't just go home from school and forget about it. It's like all over social media.
Because then they'll post it in their neighborhood, and everyone will know.
Instagram. Oh yeah. Well, you're already in the group of friends anyway. They're all connected to you too. Then they're doing all the comments.
I didn't even really think about that, but yeah, I didn't have a smartphone until I think college. High school. Exactly. I'm pretty sure I just had one of those little slidey. I had a Razor for the longest time.
The Razor.
Oh yeah, man, that used to be the cool thing, man. That was high tech.
Remember the Nextel, the beep
I don't.
Nextel? It was like a walkie-talkie phone for construction workers and stuff.
Oh man! I just want them to know that there's going to be a lot of stuff on the horizon this year, and I'm back on my hustle, and it just feels really good. You're going to see me on Apple Music. You'll see me on Spotify, all of the platforms, and anticipate me dropping a new project within the next month.
Hell yeah!
Oh, nice. Nice. What project? A single, an album, a collaboration?
It's 9 songs with a friend of mine, a producer called Chef Mike out of Detroit.
I like that name.
He runs a little label called Common and Normal. Yeah, nice. Common and Normal, which I love that name. It's kind of funny to me. But yeah, they're anything but common and normal. They're all really unique. It's comprised of a lot of producers. It's got one rapper out of Asheville, Philo. I don't know how it's pronounced. But it's got maybe 20 artists, and they're all very talented and just a good group of guys. I'm in their Facebook Messenger chat, and I mean, I had to turn off the notifications because they're talking all day.
I'm sure
it's like hundreds of messages a day.
Big cats.
Hey, big cat Chad has kind of a nice ring to it, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I like it.
What was funny is I came back from lunch one day at the office, and we had just renovated the office.
Yeah.
And I got back, and they had put a theme up in the office, and it was called the Big Cat Lounge. It was so funny. They drew like a cat, a tiger, and then just because even the big cat word spread to my work, and like they thought it was funny. We've got people in many states calling people big cats.
Hey, one day it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be global.
So did you tell the listeners everything they should know? Was that, I know we got cut off. Was there, what else didn't we cover as far as that?
You know, I think that they know everything that they need to know for now about me, and then they'll have to just listen to my music to hear the rest about me.
Exactly.
Do you got if they want to hit you up on Venmo or Cash App or anywhere or any social media? How do they do that?
My name's Nathan Reddig, Nathan, last name Reddig, Reddig. So I think there's only 2 Nathan Reddigs that are on Venmo. You can find me on there. And then ResoNate is my artist name, RESO, and then it's capital NATE, but it's all one word. So you can find me on Spotify and Apple Music, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Pandora, everything, whatever you want to. And my link tree, you can access links to basically everything of mine on there if you want to get that as your reference.
Yeah.
Say we had you on the Big Cat Lounge.
Yes, sir.
Hey, one day you're going to be showing people this and be like, yeah, you know that guy? That guy is on the charts. Yep.
Are you going to, if you blow up, do you promise you'll come autograph a microphone for us?
I'll make it happen.
Give us one of those nice golden, autograph microphones.
Once I have that all that stock money due to my man Kyle over here inspiring me to get in that game, then I'll have the money to come visit y'all and do that.
Yeah, okay. Well, Kyle, go ahead and get him rich.
All right, we will. Thank you so much for coming on the Big Cat Lounge podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate y'all.
These the kind of folks that I could die by. You could catch a ride, not a drive-by. Finally a drive I can stand behind. If I don't scrap my pride, it's gon' be a fight. These the kind of folks I could die by. You could catch a ride, not a drive-by. Finally a drive I can stand behind. If I don't scrap my pride, it's gon' be a fight. Yeah, these kind of folks that I die by, probably not a drive-by. See through the drive-thru, finally a vibe true. Rezo on a rise true, ain't you word a new? Fucking like it's buku, birdie like I'm cuckoo. You don't got a vibe cool, probably out your mind. Woo. Roll with the message, we keeping it fine. Soon I'ma drive, my whip in Dubai. Y'all started with a thought, not why. Never turn my back on y'all, but it's a post up like that. Share that, air that out, cause it's wet when I drip past, wet when I spit facts. Yes, it's a mismatch, oh wait, I said that. Best with a big ass, need me a big ass. Not for the new and horse in the stall. That this is a stick, thick milkshakes, fiend for the cream. Better get that big, get it fly down. Pull to the squad I'm with, but I drop jewels like a Mel kid. Toxins out, but I'm in my bag, bam, pop it now. It's a bubble bath drip, now it's down. You can try and match this, push that weight. No, I'm counting cash, no, I'm counting change. Ain't no changing back, I'ma stay this way if I don't too bad. Some say first is better, threw mine in the trash. Compost this, better add to the scraps. Waste not unless this is the master. Chief in that plaster, sticky then hardens. Come in the garden, community started. Maybe the park, no, maybe I'm parking. But not for long as I'm talking. Long as I'm singing, long as I'm breathing. These the kind of folks that I could die by. You could catch a ride, not a drive-by. Finally a drive I can stand behind. If I don't scrap my pride, it's gon' be a fight. These the kind of folks I could die by. You could catch a ride, not a drive-by. Finally a drive I can stand behind. If I don't scrap my pride, it's gon' be a fight. 14, I lived and grew up right there with my kinfolk. They play, but I still sin. No, I'm the wrong nigga to sin for. Just coolin' with my friends though. Yeah, we living like they end though. No, we living for them ends though. Tryna cop everything called Winslow. No, we living like Lorenzo Tate. Enemy of the state, menace to society. My niggas will ride for me even if they license was expired. They still inspire me to the depths of my soul. Ice in my vein, help me get through the cold. Me, my nigga Cam and them just tryna make a coin with the soul of a ram, heart of a raider. So let me make my point and start with one verses from the flyest dude you ever seen. Rollin' with my team ever since I jumped off that porch at 314. Holding down my time, holding down my street, holding down my kin, holding down my team, holding down like 1, 2, 3, bitch.
Know what I mean? All through the fold, straight on no lean, playing my role, switching the scene, dropping some jewels, these are my jeans, long. These the kind of folks that I can die by. You can catch a ride, not a drive-by. Finally a tribe I can stand behind. If I don't scrap my pride, it'll be
Thank you for listening to the Big Cat Lounge podcast. Today's music was brought to you by ResoNate. Please support local music.